Okay, so my instruction today, we're going to be working out of Chapter 9 of the Gaddis textbook, which covers pointers. Please be sure to read through this. I'm going to give you a couple examples here. I got a couple definitions, and then you need to do some reading and then work through. There's homework exercises associated with this as well. All right, so Chapter 9 deals with pointers, or another way to refer to them as pointer variables, and they're designed to hold memory addresses. That's their purpose, and we'll find that there's lots of utility for pointers, but we need to understand the syntax first. So pointers are declared using the asterisk operator, or we'll also refer to that as the pointer operator. And if you can think back to some of the earlier experiences we've had in C++ programming, we also were able to identify memory addresses of variables by using the ampersand or address operator. And we'll find that we can use the address operator to associate the memory value of a particular variable that we've defined and give it a pointer. All right. So I create a little application as a demonstration here. Pretty simple piece of software here. I'm going to declare an integer, and an integer is called num. We're going to go ahead and assign it the value of 50. Note here in line 6 how we declare a integer pointer, and I have this pnum. And we use the asterisk to differentiate between a integer and a pointer to an integer. Okay, so right now this is not an integer variable. It's going to point to something, and we haven't associated with anything yet. Another really important teaching point when we're dealing with pointers is that we can't mix and match data types. So I can't have a variable that's a floating point and then try to associate a pointer to it that's of integer data type. The data types need to be the same. Okay, let's look at what we do in line 7 here. So we're going to take the memory address of my variable, my integer variable num. We're going to take that address. We're going to assign it to pnum. You notice now, anytime I just use pnum without an asterisk, I'm referring to that memory address. If I want to show the value that's inside of the pointer for pnum, then I'd use the asterisk, right? And then in line 8 here, I print out num, which is whatever's stored inside the num variable, and then I'm also going to show, now we associate this. Now let me go ahead and display this, and again I'm going to use the right syntax here, so I say asterisk pnum, or the pointer pnum, and that will show me the value that it's pointing to. All right, if I want to show in line 9 here, I want to show the memory address, then I need to use the ampersand operator here. And if I want to show the memory address of pnum, well, then I just say pnum. Okay, so note the syntax. We'll compile it, we'll save it, compile it, and run it. I'm using Notepad++ today. I'm on my home system, and then I'll just use the GCC or the G++ compiler, MinGW compiler. And that statement again is G++ space main.cpp, and then we use the -o and then main.exe, and same thing we've been doing on the Raspberry Pis. All right, so I'll compile that, successfully compiles, and then let me go ahead and list it out. Okay, so if you take a look at my output here, you see the value of the variable num is 50, and then we associated the pointer to it, so now when we display that, we'll see that that's also going to be 50, and then we work with memory addresses. All right, so I'll try to put these on the same screen for you so you can see these. But take a look at the syntax in lines 7, 8, and 9, and 10 for that matter, and then look at what the output is. Okay, let me do one other little exercise here, and let's go ahead. I'll get rid of this stuff here, and I'll leave my output of num, and then the value that's stored at the pointer for pnum. Okay, so let me do this now. Let's take pnum and we give it a different value. Okay, and again the syntax is that I have to say, well, it's asterisk or the pointer pnum, and that shows me the value that's stored inside here. Okay, so I'm going to save that now, and then we'll compile we'll go ahead and run this. And think about this a little bit before I actually execute this. We're going to print out num, and then we're going to print out whatever the pointer, whatever's stored at where the pointer of pnum is, right? So we're going to see 50 or 70, and I'll tell you if you're following along here, you should say 70 and then 70 again. So look at, we could see that there's our values of num and pnum.